would like to thank our amazing sponsors, Touring Plans Travel. Their destination specialists work with you to plan and book your trip, whether you're traveling to a theme park, headed out on a cruise, or wanting to get away anywhere in the world. As experts in smart travel, their agents suggest the best itineraries and activities to fit your family's needs, and handle all the reservations on your behalf. There is no cost to you or your family when using Touring Plans Travel services, and you may even save some money if discounts become available after booking. So head over to touringplans.com/travel and tell them Rope Drop Radio sent you. Now, on to the show.
Helping you navigate the Disney parks.
With the hope that it will be a source of joy and inspiration to all the world.
You're listening to Rope Drop Radio.
Welcome to another Rope Drop Radio. Derek and Doug talking all things Disney. And today, Doug, we are taking some dream vacations on the show. I know. We're going to play a little game, something I created. And Doug's just like, all right, I'm here for the ride. But we want you guys to play along with us. It's going to be a lot of fun. But going to talk about some dream vacations that we want to do hopefully someday, maybe someday with one of you guys, like one of our Patreons. And because we're recording this early, because we didn't want to record on Halloween night, we need to give a shout out to all of our Patreons. No new ones at the moment, but thank you everyone for supporting the show, getting the after show bonus episodes, Zoom calls, a lot of great stuff on there. And soon Doug will be out at the parks doing some of his own, not only making dreams come true, but doing his after shows as well.
Come true. No, bonus audio from the parks, Derek. After shows are after the show.
You'll get everything. We'll get all sorts of stuff.
So, yes, thank you, patrons, for supporting the show. But another way to support the show is to leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. You leave a 5-star review, we will read it on air eventually. So, here we go. This one is titled Insider Baseball for Disney Fans and Vacation Planners, 5 stars, by QC Raka. Yeah, I think I like it. All right. D&D are the best. They have firsthand experience and expertise to share on each topic that they discussed. The RDR pods are always entertaining and educational for every Disney fan. This podcast is the best. If you are preparing to drop a bag of cash at the House of the Mouse, the weekly listens are a must and easy to become a fan. Wow, that's very nice. Yeah.
Wow, thank you. We have definitely spent some bags of cash at the House of the Mouse.
You know, just kind of push it over there and be like, what you going to let me do now?
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Yes. And today we're going to be spending some imaginary bags of cash, we will. That is the best kind. Hopefully it's real bags and we get to do these trips. But literally, I've been listening to some other Disney podcasts and kind of hearing some other people's trip reports and stuff. And I started thinking about what are some of my dream vacations. So we have some categories we're going to go over. We're going to talk about our dream domestic park stay, our dream international park, our dream ABD, Adventures by Disney, which, wow, that's so the hardest thing ever if you start getting down that rabbit trail. Our non-park Disney thing, so you'll have to stay tuned for that. My favorite one for Doug, which I have no idea what he's going to pick, Disney Cruise Line itinerary. And then Doug and I are going to do a little armchair imagination, and we're going to create something Disney that we would love to do that if the Imagineers are listening, you can definitely cut us in on 10%.
I'm going to do armchair imagineering, but you go ahead with your imagination. Yeah.
Yes, it's the same thing. My imagination runs wild when I start thinking of things like that.
I'm ready to roll, Derek. I'm excited.
All right, Doug, tell me, domestic park, what is kind of your dream? And by the way, dream within reason. We're not doing the flight to all the parks that you can do, but what is your dream for the domestics?
I mean, and we're not living there, right? We're not buying Golden Oak or anything like that.
We should do that.
Patrons,
though.
Start a fund. Anyway, here we go. Domestic park. I'm gonna pick a Poly bungalow, please.
Oh, yes, you are.
Because I love the Poly. I can get Ohana room service, so don't even need to leave. But you got the little splash pool. You got view of the Magic Kingdom. You get the exciting sounds of the ferry coming and going right outside your window. But that's a dream. Staying in a Poly bungalow, super expensive. So that's why it's a dream.
No.
And, we're going to basically be looking at a week span. And while I'm there, of course, I got my AP, get a park hop, all that sort of stuff. But I would love to maybe do 2 VIP tours while I'm there, so I can kind of take 2 different aspects of the VIP tour, right? You cover a lot of different things. Definitely eat lots of nice meals. Not even worth listing all the fancy food I would eat on my dream thing, but Ohana would be had in like on the patio watching Happily Ever After at some point.
Oh, I
Yeah.
like it. Nice. It's a good
Yeah.
dream to have. Hopefully I get to come
Yeah. I
stay
mean,
with
it's a
you.
big room. Yeah.
It is. It is. The room I'm picking, you probably know, what am I going to pick, Doug?
If I have to guess where Derek will pick, it is going to be a cabin at Wilderness Lodge.
It is. I have wanted to stay there so bad. That would be a lot of fun, and I would invite everyone over for some drinks and beverages we just get from Geyser Point, just catered to our
Yep.
room.
Hot tub on the patio, right?
Oh gosh, it'd be so nice. I would not actually do a lot of stuff at the parks. I mean, I would love to do a VIP tour, but the one thing I would do, money no object, is Victorian Albert's, where it is a little expensive,
There's a dress
but
code, Derek. You gonna make
there's
it?
a dress code, so yes, I will suit up for it. And but I've seen videos, I've listened to podcasts. Like one of the podcasts, I do listen to other Disney podcasts. Like, we try to go to Victorian Albert's every trip. I'm like, who does that?
I
That's
don't.
not Doug and I.
That's a lot of time commitment too.
It is.
Yeah.
So if this show is going on for 20 years, Doug, we make it to
20-year
20 years,
anniversary.
you and I are going.
Yeah.
Deal?
Yeah. Deal. We
All
thought we were
right.
pretty
Sounds
fancy
good.
at Yachtsman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except they didn't have the steak
Right.
I
The
ordered.
prime
That
rib
was
was
the
out.
biggest
It's,
fail. I
yeah.
know. How do you run out
The
of
amount
meat,
of
guys?
anger coming out
I'm
of
not
Derek's.
going to Yachtsman on this trip, but
No.
yeah, I would love to stay at a cabin and I would eat all the fancy meals that I've yet to eat.
Artist Point. There you go. That's a
That'd
good
be a
one
good one.
right there.
That is.
Right there.
So that was the easy one. That's
Right.
the
Yeah.
layup of this because we've done Walt Disney World quite a bit. So let's move out of the United States, Doug. We're going international. What park are you going to?
Going to Tokyo, Derek.
Oh, are we going to the
We're
same
going to the same place.
place?
This is a no-brainer. I mean, you have 2 parks. Both are fantastic. Both are being expanded. I just think it'd be fascinating to stay there right on property, the most expensive room I can get, please. But yeah, I just really want to experience those parks for multiple days. And then also, some time in Tokyo too.
Oh,
Couple
absolutely.
days in Tokyo, couple days in each of the parks. That would be the dream international park. I have done this with Paris, which when you do the math, sometimes Paris isn't a crazy idea, especially if you're going not in the summer. You can find some better flights over there. So we stayed at Paris and then went in and out of the city on the commuter train. Not very expensive, not very difficult. So that's kind of would be my goal for Tokyo as well.
Oh, yes. I would join you, you and I.
Okay.
So if we get to our 15 year,
Wow.
you and I go to Tokyo
Tokyo.
Disney Sea and do it's just all the rides that they have over there
Mm-hmm.
that are so different, so unique. I've done during the pandemic, I did like one of the weird virtual reality walkthroughs. And so I felt like I was really there, not
Mm-hmm.
really at all. And so it's just Disney and Imagineering has done so well. They have a little bit more money to spend because they have some other investors with them.
Disney does not own it.
They do not.
No.
They only own part of it. So,
They own Paris and they own the domestic parks. That's it.
so it's always nice when someone else comes in and gives you a large chip of money to be like, "Hey, go do this." Like Doug and I creating these
Yeah. Yeah.
itineraries.
Basically, it's the Oriental Land Company hires the
Yep.
Imagineers to build things. That's kind
Yeah.
of, I mean, that's the gist of it. That's not exactly it, but that's kind of how it works. Yeah.
There you go.
International
So
Park wasn't too exciting when we both picked the same thing there.
no, and I knew that was going to
I
happen. I
just,
think we're going to get into some more better things as we go
Hong
along.
Kong, though, is up and coming with the addition of Frozen. It's Hong
That
Kong.
Frozen Land. Wow. Wow.
And
Wow. Wow.
and I'm more likely to want to visit Hong Kong than I am Shanghai, like in mainland China,
Okay.
just because of things.
All
I
right.
don't know.
I've been to Shanghai.
I
That's
know.
why I was like, I want to go somewhere else.
Yeah. But not
Okay.
Shanghai Disneyland.
I did not make it there. Regrets.
Um,
If I would have known I would have started this podcast, I would have went back then or tried to. So, all right, here's where it gets tricky. Adventures by Disney. We talked about this with Alex. We've had a couple episodes. I've gone down the rabbit hole a few times. I recommend you listening to this show right now. Just go on to the ABD website and just look at all the cool itineraries. Don't look at the price tag. Just avoid that at all costs. This is imagination money, and you can pick a trip. So, Doug, what were you thinking with ABD?
Oh, so the one trip I am picking, because we're picking a specific one that actually exists, we're not just making up
Yep.
stuff, is Vietnam, Laos, and Cambodia.
Oh, that one looks
Yeah,
good.
12 days. Do you want the starting price? So the cheapest actual thing you can book for that is
Okay.
$6,349 a
Oh,
person.
it's not bad.
Yeah. So it's a land trip. It includes 26 meals. So minimum age is 6, suggested age of 8 plus. Trip highlights: Mekong River cruise, Vietnamese cooking class, Chinese lantern workshop, Tai Chi class with a master, Angkor Wat archaeological park tour. So Angkor Wat is like the ancient ruin in Southeast
Yep.
Asia. So it's pretty phenomenal. That's Angkor Wat is kind of why I want to
You
go.
know, my parents went there. They got some great pictures. I was jealous.
Yeah, and there's some other details, but it looks fantastic. It's basically December, January, February, March dates. So it doesn't go over the summer, probably because it's like the surface of the sun
Yeah.
over there. So um, ABDs include local guides, guides throughout the whole time. One reason I want to do this guided with ABD, because I've done a lot of traveling on my own. ABD kind of babysits you a little bit, and I don't know. I have mixed feelings about being babysat. However, the cool thing about this location is there is mango and cashews in like everything in this area of the world. They just where they grow. So they're in a lot
Yep.
of the meals, and that is my food allergy that would kill me. So having a guide that will take care of my dietary needs, I feel is essential. Like I've watched some travel videos where people are in Vietnam and in these countries, Cambodia, and like street vendors, everything had mango in it. I'm like, I would starve.
Yeah.
So I think doing ABD, that's part of what draws me to doing an ABD there. So there you go.
Makes
Long
sense.
story,
Okay.
I think. Not
No, it's
really.
good. That's what we're looking
Details.
for.
Yeah, we're getting away
Yeah,
from the easier
absolutely.
stuff. So got to give a
Yeah.
little more.
I
Yeah.
absolutely. It's going to be like a 5-minute show. So, here's what's funny about my ABD.
Mm-hmm.
I had one picked. So after Alex spoke, I went down the thing and I
Oh,
found one. I
just
picked it out.
reference Alex talked about South Africa
He
ABD
did.
back around the New Year's, I think.
Yes. And so I went down the rabbit hole and I looked at every one price. I was like, okay, what would I do? And I picked one. Here's the funny thing. I can't really say it on the show because it just happened. So they don't have one for next year, but I'm going to say it anyway. And then my other one. So there is an ABD Oktoberfest. And I'm German heritage. Always want to go to Oktoberfest. It looks really cool. So that was the one I had prepped. And then you're like, make sure the one you pick is actually listed. So I went on there yesterday. I'm like, oh no, it's literally happening right now. So it's not listed. So I have changed and I'm going to do the Grand Europe, England, France, and Italy. So I've been to France a long time ago. I took AP French. I still speak un peu, a little French. And I've always wanted to go to England and Italy. Doug's gone to Italy and made me super jealous on
This pasta's so good.
legit Neapolitan pizza. And it
Mm.
just, I these are 3 countries I wanna go visit, so the fact that I'm able to do all 3, starting price starts at $10,000, so just, a little
We're
chunk of
we're not
imaginary
picking the
change.
cheap ones, folk.
No,
We're,
and we're not picking the most expensive
um,
either.
we're pretty close though.
We're getting there,
Yeah.
but, I would love to take see the crown jewels, go to Big Ben, the Louvre again, pasta making. It sounds so cool. And I would love to spend some time in Europe. And so, yeah, bucket list right there.
How
Bucket,
many how
not
many
check.
nights was it?
It's 10 days.
10 days.
So yours is a little longer.
Yeah. Well, shoot big. I'm dreaming. I'm
Absolutely.
dreaming here, Derek.
I got to. So, but guys, seriously, take a minute, go to the ABD website, and just know that this is the next 30 minutes of your life. Like you're gonna get sucked in,
Yeah.
and you're gonna have some big dreams. You're gonna be like, whoa, and then you're like a price tag. You're like, but if you seriously want to do one of these ABDs, hit up touring plans ASAP and get booked because
Oh
they
yeah.
do sell out.
They book lots of ABDs, so they have some very experienced clients with them because there are
Yep.
some little nuances to them when booking.
You didn't want to do South Africa? I kind of thought you were gonna pick that, not gonna
Nah,
lie.
no, I think I mean, the safari aspect of that South Africa trip just sounds amazing,
Yeah.
but I like the ruins of Southeast Asia a little more. I want to see those.
So I wanted to do the Antarctica one. That was originally
Oh
one I
yeah, that would
looked
be
at.
fantastic.
Except I've listened to a couple other podcasts with people who did it,
Mhm.
and the seasickness
I don't
was
know, right?
horrendous.
I don't know if I can make it. That crossing is so
Yep.
rough.
I've seen videos
That's
and I'm
insane.
just like, I know I don't know if I would just puke. I don't know if I would physically be able to get through it.
I know Galapagos Islands is another thing on my list, but that's not really ABD, DCL. It's kind of a weird combination. So
Yep.
I didn't pick it because it's not a true ABD, right? I wanted a true blue ABD, and we both picked one of those. Fantastic
There we go.
choices. It's
Fantastic.
top of
Good.
the line. There's a lot of shorter ones than what we picked that are a lot more reasonable.
Yes.
So,
So go have fun.
yeah.
Enjoy the website. So another thing I have on here is that not all Disney resorts are attached to theme parks. What? That's
Mm.
weird. So there are a few. And so, Doug, is there one that you want to check out?
I think Hilton Head. Just
Oh,
joking.
really?
I
Oh, I was okay.
just messing with you, Derek. I'm
That
gonna
threw me off guard.
Alani.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't been to Alani. That would be my choice. Go to Alani, enjoy Hawaii, see the sights, smell the smells, eat the Bull Whip,
And
all the
catch
Dole
up to
Whip.
Derek because it's something I've done that you have not done.
Congratulations.
I know. I'm going to keep
I've
bringing it up until you go. I don't know why you have not gone. Alani is
been
incredible.
going to Europe instead. So
Touche. You've been to the 3 countries that I just talked about.
yes, I've done all those things you've mentioned.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
Well, I want to go to Vero Beach. I think that would be a really cool property to. I like the idea of just being able to get out of my room and get on the beach too. I think
Mhm.
that would be a good relaxing trip. Got that Disney flair to it. Really cool pool, and yeah, I definitely on the list
Why
sometime.
Vero over Hilton Head? Because those are the
Honestly,
two, right?
they are the 2. I looked at videos and just honestly thought between the 2, Vero I like Florida more, so Vero makes more sense to me.
Okay. More familiar
Uh,
on getting there too, probably.
yeah, yeah, so, that's literally I watched all the videos for both of them and kinda made my decision just on looks, and not gonna lie, some of those beach viewing rooms on Vero I thought were really cool.
Okay. All right.
And the Vero lobby looked better, so,
Okay.
might be there.
All right.
That's all. But yeah, there you go.
Just
There are
curious.
properties. Yeah, there are properties. I know Doug and I feel the same way. Well, someday you want to get all the Disney properties knocked out.
Someday.
Yep.
Someday.
Not today, but
No.
someday.
Hilton Head is Vero are pretty low on the
Low
list.
on the list. I know. But
Yeah.
it's funny because I bring up that I went to Alani and people are like, what? There's a Disney in Hawaii? I never. And I'm like, nope, there is. So, all right, Doug, this is the one I've been waiting for. I thought of you when I came up with this question. Disney Cruise Line Ultimate Dream Vacation. Doug, you are the host of a Disney Cruise Line podcast. Where are you
Yes.
going?
Yes. Rope drop on deck. Find us wherever you find podcasts. It's me and Michelle.
Shameless plug right there. There you
Yeah.
go. I've
So
never been on it, and I've been on
you
every episode at the same time.
right? That's true. You'll have to
I do
listen to
the
figure out
intro.
how. Oh, spoilers,
Oh,
Derek.
I gave it away.
You did. All right. So I'm booking a one-way cruise, not a closed loop where you return to where you started. It's a 15-night South Pacific cruise
Holy crud.
from Honolulu ending in Sydney. So I guess after I get done with Alani, Derek, I
Yep.
will sail from Hawaii to Pago Pago, American Samoa. The international date line, South Pacific, there's evidently that's listed. So you get like a bonus day. You do one day twice. And then
Yep.
Fiji, New Caledonia, I can't even say these things. And then Sydney, Australia is where you end. So Yeah, that's the one I would pick. The next option is Sydney to Honolulu, but I think I'd like to go the other direction first. So Trans-Pacific, but not the
And how
whole
much is that
Pacific.
running?
For 2 guests, the starting price $5,232. So that would be for an inside stateroom, and that would sail October 3rd of 2024. So
Ooh, over my birthday. You should take me.
yeah, it's not too crazy of a price, really. When you break it down per night, it's practically free. Like, they're gonna feed you better than you could afford to eat for that price. So, but granted, you do have to fly to Honolulu to get onto this ship, and
And
15
that is not
nights
cheap.
in an inside stateroom would be a lot. But you know,
That sounds like a good voyage. I didn't know what you'd pick. I was so curious.
yeah, I mean, I've done, this is a dream, right? So I want to do the
Yep.
Panama Canal, but this is a bigger one than that. And Northern Europe, Norway especially is on the to-do list, but a transatlantic or trans-Pacific is definitely more something that's more of a dream, because it eats up so much time. And that's what I
Yeah.
don't have right now in life is time.
Oh.
There's no way I have
Wow,
time for that,
that's
right?
morbid. Okay.
Well, no, the kids are so big. The kids are in everything. So this is
Oh, I
definitely
trust me, I'm well aware of
right.
that. Yes.
So this is when people are like, what are you going to do when your kids are gone and you're so busy with all their activities? Almost like you're too busy now, you're going to be sorry later type of people ask
Okay,
weird.
yeah.
They say weird things to you.
Yep.
Because your kid isn't in anything and you're not busy. I guess you're more prepared to dealing with it later. But when my kids are, out of the house and it's quiet, I can take this 15-night cruise to Australia.
I like it.
Yeah, really.
That's a good
Price
one.
wise, it's cheaper than a different location that's not so far away and much shorter cruise. Derek?
Wow. Yeah, Doug knows what I'm going to pick. I have one dream cruise. I've had it since I was a kid. I want to go to Alaska. I want to go to Alaska so freaking bad. The Wonder, I've seen Doug's pictures. I've listened to other podcasts. I know I just listened to Wes, your show. It's a dream. It's literally the dream cruise. I would love to go glacier viewing, go to Ketchikan. Like it's there. I've always wanted to go to Alaska since I was a kid. And so I think that's the only way I'm going to get there. But I'll tell you what, those prices are not going down, because we really wanted to do that next year. But instead, we're going to go to Lighthouse Point. So hopefully our goal for this is 2026. So that's our goal. Put it in the calendar now.
26. Mark it down, folks. Derek is going.
So sometime in the summer, and when our kids do not have all the activities, go to Alaska.
Your kids are going to get more activities, aren't they?
There's a couple breaks in the summer. We have, what would we count, like 19 days a year we can go on trips. So we just got to use those days.
So it was about $5,000
Alaska
for 2 people, inside stateroom, 15-night Trans-Pacific, right?
Yep. Oh, mine's probably just
7-night for 2 people, inside stateroom. So only 7 nights, $3,241 for inside. And you can't do an inside on Alaska. You gotta be able to. You
gotta be on a veranda.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Where I'm pretty sure a Pacific crossing you could survive, but Alaska, if you're going, you're going.
Oh, I want the view, man. I will be on that veranda.
You want to wake
as soon
up
as the sun comes up.
There is a 9-night
look at the nature
Alaskan cruise. You didn't say a specific one, but there is a 9-night.
I'm taking that. Actually, there is a 9-night. I saw that. Yes, the longest one I can.
Yep.
Yes.
It is $5,699 for inside for 2 people, so more expensive than the Trans-Pacific. Granted, I had a lot of days where I'm just looking at empty ocean, right?
Yeah,
not a lot of stops. Same number of stops.
I got whales and glaciers.
Yeah,
and Mickey in a fisherman's outfit.
Also, I had to fly to Honolulu. I forgot about the part where you had to fly home from Australia.
Oh yeah, I've done that. That is one of the worst flight experiences I had, just because it took so long.
It does take,
and I don't sleep on airplanes.
He does not, folks.
Nope. 17-hour flight, and I was wide awake.
I'm sure you were a peach for everybody around you.
Oh, they gave me alcohol. They're like, please, sir, drink this so you fall asleep.
All
It
right.
didn't help.
Yeah.
So,
There you go.
all right.
DCL.
DCL. Well, Doug, here's the armchair Imagineer type area. Where do you want to? Do you want a Disney park, a Disney trip? What is something that the Imagineers listening should take note and do?
Yeah. So this one was hard because everything I kept thinking of turned out to be an ABD. Right?
Yep.
Like, oh, ABD kind of DCL covers that. So then I was like, well, I'm gonna have to just build a park somewhere
Yep.
and
That's
go
what I got to
to
do.
it. Yeah. So this is a combination. I think so. I'm excited about the adventure from the DCL line to be out in Southeast Asia. That might be something I try to do sooner rather than later once it's sailing. But, oh
Seriously,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
intrigued
I
now.
don't know if my wife will go for it, but I really want to. But
Sounds like a guy's trip. Who's
okay,
in? Come on, listeners.
okay. So well now you just motivated her to go. Thank you.
Yep.
So
It's a win-win.
so I was thinking where would be more interesting, I think, would be a Brazil theme park. Granted,
Oh,
that would drive me insane being there, but I want to go to Brazil, South America. Cruise lines are becoming a lot more prevalent in South America, and I think you put a park and throw a ship down there for a certain time of the year. It would be really neat to see. I mean, we've got to Australia now. Now is the time to start looking at where the magic will go while the wonders in Australia. And I think Rio de Janeiro is calling its name.
that'd be a good
Lot,
idea to put a park there.
Lots of good stops along the coast too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got French Guiana, which is like practically being in Europe because it's part of the EU, and all kinds of things. So, a lot of neat stops along the Atlantic coast down there in South America that could be really fun, and a park in Brazil just to top it off. That I think would be pretty cool, and an area untapped. I mean, we got 3 parks in Asia. You're cruising to Australia.
You don't want to throw one in Dubai? It's kind of happening. Universal Studios failed there, but
Yeah, I don't think I'm ready for that.
okay.
I just, I think the last few weeks have, I would have said that a while ago, but because I have looked at cruises in and out of Dubai in that region of
I
the
have
world,
too. Yeah.
and I think they look fascinating. MSC does a lot of them
Mm-hmm.
there, but I am gonna pump the brakes on that for a decade or so now.
Okay.
Kind of like I used to want to. There's cruises like Disney even sailed to Russia, to St. Petersburg for a day, and
I did not know that.
that is no
Okay.
longer a thing either.
Hmm.
So stupid wars. People need to just get along
There
and
you
stop
go.
being full of
So we can
hate,
have more
so that
things.
I can go
Yes.
on better cruises.
I agree completely. That's why we
No other reason to stop
yeah.
fighting than for the cruise
So
industry.
Doug to get on cruise industry,
Yeah,
or yes,
yeah.
the cruise isn't not just Doug. Everyone who
Mm-hmm,
wants to go on a
mm-hmm,
cruise ship.
mm-hmm.
So I'm a little
All
different.
right,
In
let's hear it.
fact, I've changed it a couple times, but
You
the
just
one
building
like
another Alani somewhere, Derek?
no, actually, what I want to I am very impressed in thinking a lot about these Universal mini parks.
Mm.
And I'm like, I think Disney could do it. I think Disney could pull
Omaha,
off.
Nebraska?
I didn't think Omaha, but I do
Okay.
think Kansas City. So I think you've picked a couple of your big e-ticket cities, and you can build a couple mini parks. So I think you could get one in New York if you get the right land, Kansas City, a few, now after staying at the freaking Great Wolf Lodge, I'm like, okay, you could do a Typhoon Lagoon style thing inside. You could do, a dozen rides. I go to the Mall of America every year. I've seen what you can do
Mhm.
under a roof.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't have to be like spread out and oh, you can't have these two rides next to each other. No, but you put similar rides like a miniature version of Small World, condensed. They had that ship idea a long time ago where they're going to have the floating park on a ship. Like, no, just put these parks individually. I think they're going to be regional draws and they're going to help take some of the craziness off domestic parks. And I think it'll open up more tourist opportunities for some more local people to be able to afford to go to Disney. and they're closer to their region.
So you're going under a roof so that you can be further north and operate year round?
Yes.
Because I think
you could do Kansas City, Twin Cities, New York.
and Kansas City would need a roof to operate year round. Where does the line fall? Do you think Nashville could be outside and still operate year round? But I mean,
Maybe a
France, it
little bit.
snows. It snows in
Yeah.
Paris, but not much. So I think Nashville to Memphis, in between
Yeah, those are
Nashville and
great.
Memphis would be a
You're looking at
fantastic
those big
spot.
TV markets. You're looking at those good airport hubs. I just want people who don't have a lot, who can't afford to fly down to Disney World or Disneyland, to have a place to get that Disney magic. And that's what I was thinking about a lot. I was like, so you got people living in the Midwest. You and I, Doug, we have friends who
Mhm.
are like, oh, how do you guys afford that? How can you get down there? And it's just like, man, I wish we had something local that they could go to
Yeah, if you
that
can
is
hop in the
Disney.
car and drive,
But that's
3
24
to
hours.
5 hours instead of
Yes.
22,
Yep.
it's a lot more doable.
So I really do think you could pop up 4 or 5 of these things. And honestly, I think it'd be fun if they did it wasn't like a carbon copy. Like
Mhm.
each one had different attractions. Like, oh, you have a haunted mansion, a miniature version of haunted mansion at one, and then over in the other one you have Small World or a Peter Pan. And it gives you like reason, okay, now it's like the Disney cruise ships. I'm gonna have to get to all these and buy the t-shirt with the check marks by it.
Mhm. Mhm. Look at you. Thinking of everyone. I like it.
That was the thing. So when I came up with that idea, I changed my mind quite a bit when I originally texted you, but it's Universal's crazy idea that I'm like, that could work, Universal.
Mhm.
We'll see. What, Texas? I can't remember where in
Yeah,
Texas.
Texas, near Dallas.
Yep. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it could be done. And if Disney Imagineers want any more advice, I'm willing to reach out and talk to them about this.
You're
So
full of the advice. Got it.
I always have advice. And if you ever, I mean, Disney never asks us for any
No.
advice, but I have it if they ever do.
They
So
have yet to
uh,
really consult with us on anything.
I know, I
Disappointing.
know. I still have so much on the Star Cruiser. But anyway, see, I didn't bring anything with the Star Cruiser bringing back or any kind of other resorts.
Almost back to
Made it a whole
0.
podcast. Yep. Hey. So there you go. We want to hear from you guys at Rope Drop Radio. Tell us what your dreams are. If you have gone down the rabbit hole of looking at Disney Cruise Line or ABD right now, we want to hear. So we'll put those questions on there. What's your dream trip? And then do some imagination. Yeah, use your imagination with us, and then we can plan some cool things as well. And if you want to book a trip to the domestic or international parks or any of the ABD stuff, you're going to have to let the touring plans destination specialist handle that for you. We have a link in our show notes, touringplans.com/rope drop, and they would love to help you have a magical vacation. But we need to get on to the Patreon show. And if you want to listen to that, you're going to have to go in the show notes as well and support the show. And thank you to all of our Patreons so much for supporting us. Hopefully we gain, let's see, carry the 10,000 more Patreons so we can afford some of these big trips.
Yeah, roughly
That'd be great.
10,000.
Just so you go. So if you're listening, there you go. Support the show. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening, leaving reviews, and all things Rope Drop Radio. For Doug, I'm Derek. You've been listening to Rope Drop Radio.